The number of feet out the window per capita here is like way beyond what it should be for this ferry.
Taking the Edmonds to Ferry because we're going to go spend the weekend in Olympic National Park. It's a little windy.
We're at Rialto Beach. We're about to hike about 1.5 miles up the beach here to go to Hole in the Wall and hopefully see some of the tide pools here. Visited Rialto Beach. It was super cool to just walk up along the coast there. It's like really rugged, what you would expect in Washington. We got to the Hole in the Wall, kind of scrambled across these really slippery rocks. So we got there about 10:45, which is when low tide is. And by the time we got to the Hole in the Wall, it was coming in and like we got our feet wet as we're trying to get across. By the time we left Hole in the Wall, the tide had come up enough that it's pretty dangerous to try and get across. There is a trail that goes behind the rock formation over to the other side, but I would totally recommend paying attention to the tide schedule and planning your trip accordingly to get to Hole in the Wall as early as you possibly can.
Okay, so we just made it through Forks, Washington, which is where Twilight was filmed. If you head to the visitor center, they have Bella's truck outside that you can take pictures with, which is really cool. And then also if you head inside the visitor center, it is covered. It has like a signed poster. It has posters everywhere. There's merchandise. There's everything. And the girls working there are super, super nice. They ask you if you need a map for restaurants, a map for Twilight spots to hit up, or any Twilight events happening over the weekend, which is really cool. Matt was loving the Twilight, weren't you?
Oh yes.
We also drove by the high school, which looked a lot different from what I remember, but then again, it's been a long time since I watched the movies.
Also, don't recommend driving by and filming a high school. It's super weird.
Alright, so we got to the Hoh Rainforest and we're on the Hall of Mosses Trail. Look how massive these trees are.
Spruce Nature Trail. Now we just did the Hall of Mosses Trail. So far, the difference between the two, I think the Hall of Mosses is quite a bit busier than the Spruce Nature Trail. There's a lot of people that don't stick to the trail, so don't be that guy. I mean, as far as like environment goes, they're very similar. I think obviously there's more moss on the Hall of Mosses Trail. They're both beautiful in their own right and very similar.
And very quiet. It doesn't matter if you're just a little bit far away from a big group, you can't really hear them.
Obviously this is a rainforest and it gets over 12 feet of rain, not inches, 12 feet of rain per year. We may have found the only dry spot in the place.
This is a root ball of a tree and there's already trees growing on top of it. Good morning, we are at Hurricane Ridge.
Sitting in the parking lot because we're in a cloud of mist. Visibility is super low. We can see maybe like 50 feet in front of us at the moment. We came up on the visitor center and didn't even realize there was a building there. It's clearing up a little bit. I think the sun has already risen. We're hoping to catch sunrise up here, but we can't really see anything, so we're just chilling in the car until it clears up enough that we have some kind of view. This is the unfortunate part of the Pacific Northwest. Sometimes you get to the top of a mountain and it's just misting constantly. This is supposed to be a really good view from right here, but so we're kind of bummed about the view. Obviously, we can't see anything from the top here because of the mist. The one nice thing is it smells amazing from all of the pine trees up here. Melissa sniffing the tree was for dramatic effect. You don't actually have to smell the tree itself. It all smells like pine up here.
We're on our way down from Hurricane Ridge. Be very mindful, you are on a mountain, so the roads are super windy and it rains here all the time, so they are slick. And there's a ton of rockfall from the mountain. There are a ton of pullover spots, so don't worry about missing a view. It did clear up for us a bit further up where the sun was, and then it's now cleared up here as well. And now we are on our way to Marymere Falls.
So we decided to stop at Lake Crescent before we hit up Marymere Falls because it's along the way. This is a glacial lake, kind of like a fjord, really steep cliff faces, and the water is actually 600 plus feet deep.
All right, so we just got to the Marymere Falls Trail. We parked in the parking lot. We were really confused because Google Maps showed it across the highway. So we were trying to figure it out. You go to like the ranger station where the trail starts, and then over here, it takes you under the highway.
Jurassic Park vibes.
finished the trail and it is mostly flat, but near the end, once you cross over the 2 bridges, it does get pretty steep with stairs. It's not too bad. And then at the top there's a little loop and then come right back. Now we are back at Lake Crescent and we can really see how clear the water is from over here. How's the water?
So cold. Like 60-40 mistake to refreshing ratio. We came up to Hurricane Ridge and it was just mist. You couldn't see anything. We were pretty disappointed. When we were at Lake Crescent, it started to clear up quite a bit. We had blue skies, so we decided to give it one more go on our way back through. And really glad that we did, because we've been able to see some of the Olympic peaks and see quite a ways. It's been beautiful.
Part of the trail, and we have to go like up here. Oh, he said down that way.
Did he?
Yep.
Oops.
Lots of crab claws at the beach. If you head to the visitor center, oh my god. If you head to the visitor center, you can Am I? And it's freezing. It's currently 48 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's not really freezing, but it's cold up here.
What's that?
What?
Now we are headed to Sudak Falls. Maybe. Sudak.
Salduck.
Now we are headed to Salduck Falls. How long did it take us?
No clue.
No clue how long it took us. And now we are back here at Lake Crescent and we can actually see through it.
On today's episode of Between Two Ferns.